There we go. Had to find the
Hey,
button.
there it
We're
is.
recording.
Good morning. It's Motivation Mornings with Marnie and Melissa. I'm Melissa Houston. I'm a health insurance specialist and financial planner in Victoria, BC. And the first thing I wanted to be when I was a kid was an artist.
Ah, you still are. And good morning, everybody. I'm Marnie Dangerfield. I'm a wellness and intentional creativity coach right here in Victoria, BC as well. And I'm going to go with the full moon last night. Just those full moons just blow me away. And apparently this one was a Pisces moon. So my personal share on this is I'm a Pisces.
Aw. I don't know anything about what Pisces are supposed to be like, so I should look into that.
Maybe not.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, so yes, so I'll give a bit of an overview. We'll, as always, start with our vision statement. Oh, and look at good morning, Leanne, and good morning, Rose. Welcome, welcome. So please comment. We love comments and interaction while we're doing this and making that connection. So we'll start with our value statement. What's inspiring us? I'll go. I think this week I go first, then you, and then I'll share a wellness tip, and then Melissa will share our contact information and a gratitude. And then we've got one more wheel prize. We got a prize this week from last week's anniversary show. So we're gonna round it out for all of you who commented last week. You're getting in the wheel at the draw for a prize this week.
Yay!
Welcome, Wendy. Good morning.
Good morning.
She won last week.
And I hear she's enjoying her water bottle. That's wonderful.
It's so cool. It's been neat to see the responses. There's a lot of people that like that water bottle.
I really do. All right, so kicking it off, value statement. Today we gather
in the spirit of possibility,
in support of community,
encourage holistic well-being,
to empower our authentic selves,
to share appreciation,
to express compassion,
and to enjoy this gift of life.
Indeed. Oh, and the birds agree. I don't know if you can hear the birds.
Yay for the birds agreeing. Oh, and this is such good news. Woohoo, Wendy. She says she's drinking a lot of water these days. Loves it. Yes. So important to stay hydrated. I get so excited when I hear people are staying hydrated. It's just good for you, for all of us.
It's even more important in the summer when it's warmer and then you're exercising, but everyone should be hydrated.
So important for our body's function. Anyway, so thanks for sharing that, Wendy. That's wonderful to hear. So my inspiration from this past week, on Thursday last week, there was a virtual opening for a women's art show called Codex, and put on by iMusea, which is a group of basically they're encouraging women's arts, women's voices, women's stories from all over. And this was from one particular group of artists and creators, and it's all women. And it was just, there's an actual physical museum that was supposed to open in the spring, and due to COVID, wasn't able to. So they've really pivoted and going virtual and online. And so it was just a really neat experience. It's so inspiring to see these women from all different backgrounds and different stories just sharing their images. And it was just kind of like this really to go back after and just really take them in. It's what people can create, and knowing that only about 2% of women's art and images are in museums, it's really exciting to know there's a museum that's focusing on that, and bringing forth more women's stories and images. So that's what's inspired me. So I'll put a link in the comments below in case anybody's interested. It's a nice way to spend a bit of time. Just some of them have stories with them. Some of them are, you can just take in the images. And it was, yeah, that's what's inspiring me this week.
That is so awesome. And that statistic made my jaw drop. You probably saw it. That's only 2%. That's insane.
I was blown away too. Like, what? So we're working on it, and that's the neat thing.
Oh, lovely. Yes, please share the link. I'm sure lots of us would love to check that out. Thank you, Marnie. And I love how often you post your own art as well. It's always such a pleasure because I just, most people don't feel willing to share their own art unless they feel like it's exceptionally good or, outstanding in some way. And it's just, it doesn't have to be, the next Picasso. It can just be what's, beautiful to you. And I love that.
Thank you for sharing that. And that's part of the reason I do share it, because I know my pieces are not like, and at the same time, they're just, their expressions are part, and part of it is just encouraging other people to like draw and just that self-expression piece as they're comfortable. But it's a great practice for taming that inner critic too. Oftentimes when she kicks in, I'm like, well, that's it, I'm posting it.
Well, thank you. You just made me realize I should add self-expression somewhere in my intentionality journal. That's a good thing to add. I'd have to think of what category it should go under.
Ooh, so exciting for that artist in you.
Ah, yes. So mine is a little different today. I have been watching a show called Canada's Drag Race. You may or may not have heard of it. It is a spin-off of RuPaul's Drag Race down in the States. But what I wanted to share is on the last episode I watched, they were talking about an organization I hadn't heard of before called Rainbow Railway. And it's a Canadian, I think it's Canadian based organization that helps LGBTQ individuals who live in countries where their sexuality and lifestyles are illegal, and their lives are even potentially in danger just by being themselves. And they help them come to Canada, like the whole underground railway. I think that's where they got the name of it, with the Black people from the States and slavery time. So I just thought that was so amazing. And I look forward to supporting that organization now that I know it exists. Because I think everyone should be able to be themselves and not have to risk, being incarcerated or worse, just for being themselves. And I love the fact that we live in a country where people can be themselves in that way. And so my heart was so touched, and I wanted to share it because I'm definitely inspired to support that organization.
Oh my gosh, yes. I had no idea. And yes, to all of what you said. And if there is a link for more info, please share it, because I would.
We'll share their website, and I'm sure that will have lots of info about what the details of what they do, and if you want to contribute, if you want to donate, or just spread the word, or that'd be amazing.
Fantastic. And it's just like, while you were talking, there were all sorts of hearts coming up and such. So there's definitely people are agreeing, and that's inspiring. So that's awesome. And feel free to, when those of you who are live or if you're watching the replay, to share what's been inspiring you. We'd love to hear, because we learn from each other. I had no idea what Melissa was talking about, but I'm super excited about it. So please feel free to share.
Yes, we'd love to.
Okay.
And a wellness tip from Marnie. Yay.
So I was motivated by a question I saw on Facebook yesterday. It was like, people listen, won't say who they are and keep them anonymous, but there was a question about mindfulness and mindfulness exercises. And one of my favorite topics. By next week, I'm gonna have some resources and suggestions all ready to go for next week's ones. But I thought the question was for some exercises and resources that weren't an app. So I've got some things, and I'm going to get that all properly compiled for next week's show. But I thought I'd preface it this week with a bit about made a comment here. So true, Leanne. But what is mindfulness? Just to give a bit of an intro to it, and then give the resources. So one of my first introductions, my first teachers were the books of John Kabat-Zinn. And so I'll give his definition of what mindfulness is. So mindfulness is awareness cultivated by paying attention in a sustained way, the particular way, on purpose. So it's on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally.
Oh, that's important.
Yes, to the unfolding of experience of the moment. So it's basically choosing. So the great thing about mindfulness is it can be in any moment. You can make that choice of really being that, like you said, having that awareness, paying attention, really noticing what's happening, whether it's your emotions, your thoughts, what you're doing, and that non-judgmentally piece, which that's a constant. I love that part. We're always a work in progress on it, but that's part of the practice. You know, and meditation is a form of mindfulness, but it's a much more structured. Usually, there's a time. There's a it's a focused, and it's wonderful too. Meditation, but mindfulness is great because it can happen at any time. Not like an extra thing you have to do. It can be just a part of your everyday. So if you're doing the dishes or doing your teeth or even just stopped at a stoplight, you can just notice your breath and what's happening, and in that non-judgmental way. Or if you're in a meeting, just choosing to be really present in what's happening. And I remember one of the first exercises I tried was from John Kabat-Zinn's mindfulness book, Intro to Mindfulness, and it was eating a raisin. One raisin. And it was, I found it excruciating. I'll just admit it. It's so, because it was really like you noticed it, you touched it in your hand, like, but it's really good practice. I mean, how often do you eat a raisin and just, pop in your mouth, chew, and done? This was really about noticing it, smelling it, texture, and then putting in your mouth, rolling it a bit around in your mouth just to notice it before you chewed, and then chewing really slowly. So it was really kind of this hyper aware focus. And for someone who was just starting out, I was like, by the end it was like, when do I get to just eat my raisin? But it was so I'll just be honest. And other people just have a fabulous experience with it. So, but I just wanted to give that an example. But so say for today, if you wanted to, anybody wants to try, it can just be like, if there's something coming up, you can set that intention of like, practice mindfulness, being present and aware and noticing what's going on, just really in that moment and kind of letting go any thoughts of other things and just see how it goes. So that's yeah. I had more, but I just started talking, so I'm not going to go back to my notes because it's too confusing. So I'll just leave it at that for today, just as a little intro to what mindfulness is and how you can start at any moment. You can just even be focusing on a flower in the garden for a bit and just really noticing what's going on in that.
That is awesome. What a great precursor to what I'm now looking forward to for next week. Wow, that the visual of that raisin. That
Leanne says that she's done that with all the ridges. She doesn't even like raisins. So way to go. So it must have been even more excruciating for her. I like raisins. That's probably part of it too, is I wanted to eat it. Thank you for sharing that, Leanne.
That's a good example. Oh, awesome. All right. So now contact info. Let's head on over there. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. There we are. Oh, so if you are enjoying today's webcast, please feel free to email us at motivation.mornings@gmail.com, and you can let us know what you like, what we could improve upon, if you have ideas, share what's motivating or inspiring you. Basically anything that you felt like chatting with us about, you can email us about. Then there's our Facebook page, which you may be on right this instant at MM with MM. But if you are not, if you happen to be down a few lines and on our YouTube channel instead, feel free to check out our Facebook page. That's where our That's where we are doing these live nowadays, and posting the resources that we share in the comments section. And then we have our Instagram, motivation_mornings_with_mm. I post a reminder on Wednesday mornings, in case anyone is doing some scrolling and was like, oh, right, I forgot it's Wednesday. And I also post our motivational quotes on there. And lastly, I mentioned it earlier, but our YouTube channel, much too long of a name to say. I can always email that to you, but that is where we also post the recordings. And in case you're not able to join us live, it's a great way to stay updated on when we post the recordings if you subscribe on there. So hope those are helpful resources for you.
I do like how our YouTube channel does end with the word wow.
If only that were on purpose.
It's meant to be.
It was meant to be. Indeed. Should I share my gratitude first?
Certainly, yes, please.
Okay. I have to say, my gratitude this week, I found out the other day that my parents are going to be coming out to Victoria for a whole month. A whole month.
Oh my God.
And it's not immediately, but it's soon enough that I can start looking forward to it, because it's been a very long time since I've been able to spend a prolonged amount of time with them, like probably beyond a week, for almost 2 decades. So I'm very, very excited, and I'm very grateful that to have this to look forward to.
Oh, yay. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, that's so wonderful. Yay. Leanne's saying yay too. That's so awesome. Woohoo. Oh, I love that gratitude. So, and I'm grateful. I want to give a shout out. I'm grateful for the question on mindfulness yesterday, and to have that. And so I really wanted to say how grateful I was to see it, and it made me realize, hey, I don't believe I've asked ever. Like, please, people share in the comments if there's something, information or support or topics that you're interested in. Would love to hear. Wellness topics are my thing. I love researching, so but I'm super grateful for that question, and I'm grateful too because it sparked an idea in my Facebook group. The next 21 days, we're focusing on all things mindful before switching into a nature reconnection week at the end. So anyway, so it's neat how one little thing can, what you think, one question, but it has an impact. So just want to say thank you for asking the question. So, and apparently Rose is looking forward to it. Not my group, the trip. What you talked about.
Forward to both. Awesome. All right. And now we're going to go pop over for our motivational quote. Or
And
should
then,
we do the contest first? Dun, dun, dun.
maybe the, oh.
Want to do the contest first?
I think so. I was like rounding out with the motivation quote.
Yeah. Good idea. Good idea. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen again. Except now I'm going to switch over to the wheel of names. I'm going to have to adjust a little bit. So I went back to last week's episode, our anniversary episode, and put in the names of everyone who commented. I didn't put Wendy in again because she won once. I figure let's spread the love a little. I hope you don't mind, Wendy. And this week it is for a gift certificate for either, if you're local here in Victoria, your favorite local bookstore. And there's a few goodies in town, so we'll chat as to which one is your favorite. But if you do not live here, we'll get you an online gift card to somewhere where you can purchase a book. You can choose a book that motivates or inspires you, whatever will make you excited to read. All right. Are we ready to tap to spin?
I think so. Leanne's calling for wheel, turn.
All right, drum roll and spinning. Good luck, everybody. Oh, it's Elaine. That was like the best face ever, Marty. Congratulations, Elaine. Oh my goodness. So I know you. And so I will touch base with you about finding out what your favorite bookstore is here in town.
I forgot about the clapping at the end. I really like that.
That was
Yay, thanks.
fun.
Yay, thanks for cheering it on.
More reasons to have contests. Okay. And now I'll share my screen again for the motivational quote. Dun, da, da, da. Okay, back here, and here we are. So today's, oops, my apologies. That's not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to move this up slightly. There we go. Today's motivational quote is inspired by the fact that today, September 2nd, is the anniversary of the passing of J.R.R. Tolkien. He passed away in 1973. So in honor of him, he is the author of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit. I'm sure most people are aware of that, but in case you aren't, that's who he is. And he has several very lovely quotes, and I thought I'd pick one that may be a little lesser known. So it is, deeds will not be less valiant because they are unpraised. So that's a little motivation to do good deeds, even if you're not going to get praised.
Yeah, do them. Don't worry if you're praised or not. Just do them.
They're worthy. They're worthy of doing.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Fabulous reminder.
All right. We're all ready to have a wonderful Wednesday.
Yes. Hope you all have a fabulous day.
Happy.
Love that sweatshirt. Be happy.
Looking forward to seeing you all next week.
Thank you. Thanks for coming here live, everybody, or watching the replay.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye.